Any rational worldview needs to be able to account for known, unquestionable facts of reality. In this video series so far, we have pointed out a number of problems for philosophical materialism, with the intention of showing an alternative that can account for all of these issues. But before we do so, we have to point out additional black swan events for which materialism has no explanation. For instance, how can a materialist explain acquired savant syndrome, which is the acquisition of profound abilities because of damage to the brain? If the brain produces mental states, then severe damage to the brain could only decrease mental abilities. From an article in Scientific American, obviously written by a materialist, entitled "Brain Gain: A Person Can Instantly Blossom into a Savant and No One Knows Why." In acquired savant syndrome, astonishing new abilities, typically in music, art, or mathematics, appear unexpectedly in ordinary persons after a head injury, stroke, or other central nervous system incident, where no such abilities or interests were present pre-incident. It continues. The new skill is automatically coupled with a detailed epiphany-type knowledge of the underlying rules of music, art, or math, for example, none of which the person has studied. They know things without ever having learned them. Now, in the materialist view of the world, this should not be possible. Yet this syndrome is a known fact of the world. To the materialist, it is a black swan, and while there is an explanation, it cannot be found within materialism. Another known fact of the world are those persons with dissociative identity disorder, which was once known as multiple personality disorder. While such cases are interesting in themselves in this discussion, there is a profound case in Germany of a woman who had some alters who were blind. Enterprising doctors thought to attach her to brain scanners to see visual activity in the brain, while blind alters were in control. The article reads, using a tool to measure BT's brain electrical activity in response to visual stimuli, doctors observed that the visual areas of BT's brain remained inactive during her blind personality traits and active in her sighted personalities. But if the brain is the cause of mental activity and sight, how can these areas of the brain be shut off as an effect of mental activity? This is backwards according to materialism and requires an explanation, along with the entire concept of multiple personalities and individuals from a single brain. Next, the placebo effect demonstrates that a belief that a treatment will have a positive benefit is sufficient enough to have a positive physical impact, even when the treatment is an inert sugar pill. The understanding of this effect is so accepted that randomized controlled trials with placebo are the gold standard for determining efficacy of novel pharmaceutical treatments. If placebos did not produce such an effect, then the control groups in drug trials would simply consist of persons who do not take any drug instead of those who believe that they have. The challenge for the materialist is that the positive impact of the belief in placebos refutes one of their core assumptions, namely that all of our mental states, including beliefs, are effects and cannot be causes in and of themselves. This would mean that the belief in a placebo could not possibly have any impact on their health. Yet placebos have such a powerful impact that drug trials are designed around them. So let's return to our list of outstanding problems of materialism, all of which require answers. So let's add some more problems. The contradiction of acquired savant syndrome. The lack of visual brain activity in a blind alter of an otherwise sighted person. The contradiction of placebos. And let's not forget to list the largest issue of all, the hard problem of consciousness. Why does it even exist? Materialism is unable to account for all of these problems, and in our next video, we will explain an alternative view that can. Until then, please nudge the YouTube algorithm with a like and subscribe to Consciousness Squared.